Today we're going to learn how to superimpose your face on top of somebody else's body. Today I'm going to do my face on top of Bryce Harper's body. So the first thing I did was did a Google search on an image for Bryce Harper running. I want one of those really good pictures of him running, but I also want him coming towards me because I already have a picture of my face where it's front on. So I've already taken a look at this picture. This one looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is open Snag It, and I want the orange Snag It. And this is an image, and then I'm going to capture it. And I really just want him. I'm not really worried about the background at this point, so I'm going to just try to cut as close to him as I can, but I want to get his whole body here. And then Snag It Editor opens up. You can see that I've already got my face there. We're not dealing with that picture. We're going to deal with this one. And the first thing I'm going to do is start filling. And I want to use this nice checkerboard background so that it doesn't show up on my background of the image that I use in Google Slides. So I just take that and I start filling in. That one gets a little bit close to his face. So let's see. Actually, we're going to get rid of his face anyway. So let's go ahead and just start filling in as much as we can. If I make a mistake or something, like if I accidentally get rid of something like that, I can always undo. And some of the things are just not going to go away. So when we have things that are just not going away, we can also zoom in, by the way, get really close. I can go to more and choose the eraser. The eraser by default starts off really small, so I like to go kind of in the middle and just kind of move it around. Again, if I get too close like that, that's a little too close for my comfort, you can always undo. Okay, it's not a big deal. We're just going to try to get as much of those little garbage pixels out of here as we can. It's okay if it's like some of this green stays on there. It's okay. It's not going to ruin our image. Okay, let's zoom out and see what we've got. So I got some stuff here that I want to get rid of. What you really just don't want is stuff like this like around his cleat area. It's a little bit messy. And you have to be careful. Got a couple of stray dots here. And the more time you spend with it, the better it's going to look. Now we have Bryce's face here, and we have the eraser open. I want my face on here, so we're going to go ahead and just erase Bryce's face completely from the picture. You want to leave his neck if you can, but just try to get rid of his whole face. Okay? Now that looks pretty good. Now you see I've already got a picture of my face over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this image and I'm going to right click on my face, and that opens up the copy. Now of course I could always have gone over, I could have always gone over to here to edit and done a copy also. But I'd like to save time. I use the right click and click copy. Now I go back to my image of Bryce Harper and I do another right click, and now I'm going to paste. Now there's my face. Obviously it's a little big. If I grab it at the corner, it will keep its perspective. In other words, it won't get very skinny or very fat. Like if I grab it here and move it around, it makes it much too wide. Or if I grab it down here, it makes it much too tall. And I don't want to do any of those. I want it to keep the proper perspective of what the shape of my head actually is. So now that I'm about the right size, I can put it on top of Bryce Harper's body. I want to tilt it a little bit by grabbing this green circle up here, and I'm still a little too big, I think. But that's not too bad. So you see I got to cover this area where his chin was. And of course he's he was facing a slightly different direction. I'm going to make my face a little bit wider just to cover that little gap that was right there. Okay, and now that's pretty close. All right, so now I've got a picture of me running as Bryce Harper. Now what I can do is I can save this image. And I always choose Save As just so I can see where it's being saved. I'm going to save this to, in my documents, there's a Snag It folder. And that's where I have my face saved. So I'm going to go ahead and save it here. I'm going to call this just baseball. And I want to save it as a PNG. The PNG file is the type of file that does not show up on the background. So I'm going to save it there. Now when I go into my Google and I go into my Google Apps, I want to create a new Google slide. And I'm just adding a blank slide. Now let's think about my background. I want my background to be, I'm going to choose from there. I want my background to be a baseball field. See if I can get one where it's actually on the field where I could be running conceivably. So let's see. This one, I'll see what that one looks like. Well, in any case, all right, so now I'm going to insert my image. Now this time I'm going to upload my image from the computer and go to my documents and go to Snag It. And there's the picture of me. I'm going to shrink it down to size so that it makes it look like it's supposed to be. So I can kind of get a good perspective of what the size is by the other people in this picture. That's pretty good. So there, now I've added myself into running in this fake game. That's not too bad. That looks pretty good. That looks like if you weren't paying close attention, that could be, someone would believe that could be you running around the bases. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video on how to not only superimpose yourself onto another body, but how to add it onto a Google slide. And thanks for watching.